So here's a soda drink. What do you think happens if I don't drink it right away? Well, you guessed it right. If I don't drink it right away, it fizzles out. And that is the same thing that is going to happen to your video. Unless you hook your audience right away, they're either going to get bored or they will just simply turn away. Now, you have exactly 6 seconds to get the attention of your viewers. Count them out. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is how long you have to get your audience interested in your videos and get them to watch. So what I want to share with you in this video are what are the strategies to grab your audience's attention from the beginning and make sure that they're going to stay like this fizzy drink over here, nice and interesting, and they're going to want to consume it right away. It's not about you. How many videos do you see where people start by saying who they are and what they do? Like, for example, "Hi, I'm John Doe from Company X, and this is what we do." Now, there's only one small problem with starting your videos that way, is that no one cares. Unfortunately, people have to have a reason to be interested in you if you're going to get them to watch your videos. Now, to get their interest, keep in mind it's about value and making sure that they know it's not actually about you, but it's actually about them. Ask yourself this question: what is it that I do and that perhaps my company or organization does that helps our viewers? That is what you want to start with. You help people to make beautiful plants? Well, start with the fact that you help people to make beautiful plants. If you know how to cook, if you know how to get people to be fit, if you know how to inspire people, if you know how to get them to make better decisions on pretty much everything from their finances to the way that they help kids, that is what you want to start with. Now, I'll give you my own example. I'm really passionate about getting you to make your best possible videos. I want you to deliver videos that are going to scream confidence, and you're going to deliver your message in such a way that people will remember it. So this is my gift to you, and instead of talking about me, I start with what I do for you first. Now you see, once you know what I do for you, it becomes a lot more interesting to want to watch my videos and then to introduce myself and what it is that I do. So start always with what you do for others. Now there are 3 strategies that time and again have really worked very well when it comes to introducing your videos. So I want you to think of these 3 strategies, and in fact I'm going to expand on each one separately. But your strategies are the following. You can either start with a question. Number 2 is you can put forward a problem or a statement. And the last one is you can start by telling a story that is relevant. So let's go in and expand on each one of these ideas and why they work. And keep in mind, any of these 3, I can tell you there are many ways of starting your videos, but any of these 3 I can tell you are fail-safe, they're quick, they're engaging, they're going to get your users excited, and they are most of all going to introduce your subject. Is coffee good for you? Is there such a thing as a limit on how much caffeine you should have in any given day? You see, that's an interesting question, especially if you are a coffee drinker, but even if you are perhaps a more occasional one, you'll still want to know, am I doing something that is good for me? Or perhaps is there some type of lifestyle change that I could be doing differently? Now, the question is a nice way to lead in to your subject. Now remember, what you want to do is you want to ask that question that is intriguing enough to get the attention of your viewers without necessarily, putting before them everything you're going to say. In other words, it's your way to introduce your subject. Now you see, what you want to do when you're using the question as a way to introduce is, first of all, you want to hook your audience. So you have to make sure you say the question, you let it sink for, quarter or a full second, and you let them think about it. Now, as you've piqued their interest, this is when you can now start launching how and what you're going to be speaking about. So you could say, well, in this video, I want to tell you about exactly how much coffee is good for you and what times of the day you should consume it if you want to get the most health benefits. We all love technology, but research shows that 1 in 5 children are going to be technologically addicted by the end of this decade. And not only that, we are already seeing that people are more distracted and less able to focus and concentrate than they were even 10 years ago. Now, technological addiction is a real thing, and I would love to explore with you some of the things that we can do today to make sure that we are not so reliant on our technology and we have more time to think and to focus. Now this, what I just did with you, is what we call posing a statement or posing a problem to be resolved. So what you want to do here is simply start by introducing a subject or topic by putting in a little bit of drama. Now if you've noticed, what I've done is I've painted the picture of people being technologically addicted, right? So the drama comes from, there's a problem. We have a certain type of addiction. Number 2 is I've given you a stat. So you notice that I've mentioned the fact that 1 in 5 children are going to be addicted to technology by the end of the decade. Now, one of the things that I would really love to mention about this is that you see by using those stats and by using a little bit of drama, I have introduced a subject and I've even then led in with the fact that this is what I'm going to speak to you about, but I've also said, let's explore this subject together. Now by doing this, you get interested because there's obviously something that will be resolved or there's something that intrigues you. And there are different schools of thought, but let me say this. If you love the subject, you're going to be curious about what it is that we can do to resolve the problem. That is our own psychology that is built around us loving to resolve problems. If you love the topic, you will definitely want to watch. If you don't love the topic or you disagree with me, you'll still be interested because you want to see, well, I disagree, and I want to see what you have to say so that perhaps I can have another argument in it. So by using the statement or posing a problem, as we like to call it, what you're doing is you are basically introducing your topic but adding a bit of drama. A few years ago when I was in school, I was about 8 years old. I remember we had, as most kids would have around the years of 8 years of age, you are asked to do a class presentation. I believe it was what type of world would we want to live in, when we are grown-ups. Now, as it turns out, I did really not want to prepare for this speech. And in fact, I completely forgot about it. So one day when we were in the morning in class, the teacher says, well, this afternoon I hope you're all prepared because you're all giving your speeches. And I remembered being in a world of panic. I had not prepared my speech. I didn't even know what I was going to talk about. And what I figured is I'm just going to wing it. As it turns out, I did my presentation that day, and I can tell you, it was just beautiful. But I just completely lucked out. It was a total fluke. I thought on my feet. I did it in such a way that, I had prepared absolutely nothing. And what I can tell you is that that trick backfired on me because we had to select a class representative to represent us in the school competition. Now, lo and behold, my speech that was done from absolute nowhere in thin air got chosen. And now I had to redo this same speech, but in front of the whole school. Now, needless to say, of course, I didn't win the competition. And in fact, it was a bit disappointing because one thing I recall is that the biggest comment from my teacher was, the speech you gave that time when you were in class had nothing to do with the one that you gave here in front of the school. It was an embarrassment. But the reason I'm sharing this story with you is to tell you one of two things. If you are going to say something off the cuff, make sure that you know ahead of time what you're going to say, right? In case that you have to say it again or people challenge you on it. And the biggest lesson is make sure to prepare. Now, I shared this story with you because I just want to show you the beauty of the story. It's actually one of my favorite ways to introduce any videos. and it has a magic to it. You see, the stories, we are programmed to want to listen and hear stories. It's not just the fact that we grow up hearing stories as kids, but it's because it's the way that our brains are designed to remember things. Number one is remember you want to make your video about your viewer, not about you. In other words, what is it that you do? What is it that your company or your organization does that is going to help your viewers? That is what gets their curiosity. Then we've looked at the strategies. We have 3 fail-safe strategies that you can use, which are always going to really create that connection quickly with your viewers. So that is, you can start by asking a question. You can, number 2, pose a statement, or what we call posing a problem. And number 3 is you can tell a story. Now, they all work for their own reasons. Asking a question works on the curiosity, the intrigue. If you're going to be going for posing a statement, it really gets that problem-solving part of our brains interested in figuring out what are the solutions to the problem that you've put forward. And the last part is the story. If you have to pick any of these 3 strategies, your story is the most powerful. It gets your viewers to imagine. You're encouraging them to go along in their own minds and really remember you